Hello, I'm Eric Schuler, as you can see on the top left, and we're going to be discussing algebra. Yippity doodle doo. So the three problems in algebra are equation problems, which have equal signs, unlike inequality problems, which have greater than or less than symbols instead of equal signs. And there are also literal equations, which are just variables or maybe even formulas to solve other equations. So let's jump right into it. Alright, so for this first one, we need to distribute. So we need to multiply 6 times 7, x, and we also need to multiply 6 times 2. So that's going to leave us with 42x plus 12, and we also need to drop down the rest, so it's going to be that equal to negative 23 plus 7x. And there you go. Now what we need to do is we need to get the variable to one side and the number without the variable to the other. So what we need to do is we need to subtract 12 to both sides of the equal sign. So it's going to be positive 12 minus 12, so that'll get rid of that side. And then it's going to be negative 23 minus 12, and that'll leave us with 42x equals negative 35 plus 7x. And there we have it. Now what we need to do is we need to get the variable to the other side. So we're going to do minus 7x to both sides, with the both numbers on both sides of the equal sign with variables, and that'll leave us with 35x equals negative 35. So now what we need to do is we need to divide 35x by 35. Same with the other side. So it'll look like that, and it'll give us our number of x equals negative 1. Next problem is another equation problem, but it is also known as an application, which is basically a fancy word for word problem. So Zap Fitness charges $25 for a sign-up fee and $50 per month. Fitness Universe charges $30 for a sign-up fee and $40 per month. After how many months will the gyms cost the same? So basically what we need to do is we need a bunch of numbers together. So we need to do 25 plus 50m equals 30 plus 40m. And there it is. So now what we need to do is we need to do the same thing like the first time. We need to get the variables to one side and the numbers without the variables to the other side. So what we're going to do that is we're going to do minus 25 from 25 and minus 25 from 30. And that'll leave us with 50m equals 5 plus 40m. And there it is. And I forgot to put the 2 in front of the 5. I'm so smart. Yeah, that'll leave us with that. So now we need to get the variable to the other side. So it's going to be 40m minus 40 and 50m minus 40 also. So that'll leave us with 10m equals 5, and I put 50 instead of 40. My god, I'm a god. Alright, that sentence made sense. Anyway, back on topic. 10m divided, now to get our answer, we need to divide. So it's going to be 10m divided by 10 equals 5 divided by 10. And that'll leave us with m equals 0.5. Next question. Alright, this is an inequality problem. It's going to get pretty complicated, as you can see on the bottom right. But that's for the end of the problem. So, basically what we need to do is just distribute like we did the first time. So that'll leave us with r plus 12 is less than negative 21r plus 56. So basically what we just did is we just multiplied negative 7 times 3r and we also multiplied -7 times -8. So that leaves us with that. So now, once again, we need to get the variables to one side and the numbers without the variables to the other. And so right now, I think on this slide I did the variables first. So it's going to be plus 21r from -21 and r plus 21r. And there we go. So it's going to leave us with 22r plus 12 is less than 56 because we have to drop down everything else. So now we need to get the numbers without the variables to the other side. So that's going to leave us with 22r is less than 44, and because of that we did -12 to both sides again. So it's going to be -12 from +12 and -12 from +56, which will leave us with that, like I said before, because I am a genius. Also, now what we need to do is do 22r divided by 22, because we need to get the variable by itself. We still didn't do that yet. So we're just going to divide by both on both sides. So 22r divided by 22 and 44 divided by 22. That'll leave us with 4 is less than 2. Now you're probably saying to yourself, hey, we finally did it. No, you're wrong. You still have to do the stuff on the bottom right. So for the number line, we have to find out whether we put an open circle in the middle or a closed circle in the middle. Basically, to find that out, an open circle is if it's just less than or equal to signs in the equation. But if it was a closed circle, that would mean it's less than or equal to or greater than or equal to symbols in the equation. So for this one, it's going to be an open circle, and we also need to shade it in. So we're going to be shading in to the left, and the easy way to find that out is the sign is basically an arrow. It's pointing to which way you want to shade it. So there you go, and you also want to label that too. Now for the set builder, it's squiggly line r bar r is less than 2. So basically you put an r, which is explaining your variable, and then a bar separating the variable and your answer. You'll put the answer in another squiggly line, and I assure you it does not look like that. Squiggly lines more neater than that. Alright, so now for the interval notation, I want to do parentheses, negative infinity with a 2 and parentheses, and that's your interval notation. Now if it was a closed circle and it was less than or equal to sign, then the parentheses on the other side of the 2 wouldn't be a parentheses, it'd be a bracket. So yeah, that's explaining that. Next question. This is an inequality problem, or an inequality application, so another word problem. Juan's test scores for math are 90, 92, 94, and 96. He wants to know if getting a 90 or 79 on the next test will be enough to earn an A for the semester. Give Juan an explanation on what he needs to earn an A. So basically, the stuff in the parentheses is just explaining if he were to get what number, what grade he would get. So what we need to do is we need to put all of his test scores together, and we need to add them all up, and we also need to do, since we want him to get an A, we want him to at least get 90. So bam. And also I forgot to mention, we're dividing it by 5 since there's 5 numbers, or 5 test scores. So now what we do is we add all of them together, which will give us 374, I believe? 372 divided by 5. I accidentally put a 4 there, but whatever. So now just do 37.2 divided by 5, not 4, and keep the is greater than or equal to 90. I rounded because it was a decimal, and a decimal he still would have gotten an A either way. So you also want to say that yes, he will get an A if that equation is true. But if that were to be an 89 or lower on the left side of the symbol, then it would the answer would be no. He would not get an A. Next question. This one is a literal equation, which is just variables. It's basically formulas. So we need to solve for p using this formula right here. I equals PRT. So basically, what we need to do is we just need to get rid of RT. So what you do for that is you divide PRT by RT, and you need to divide I by RT. And this is really easy. So it's basically just giving you the answer right away. The answer is I over RT equals P. It's basically just getting rid of the RT on the right hand side of the equation and putting it where it should be, right under the I, for that part of the equation. So the same thing goes for R, only instead of P, it's R. You basically do the same exact thing. You just divide by PT instead of RT, and that'll give you your answer. It's really simple, really easy. It's it gets confusing sometimes, but once you do it once or twice, you'll get a hang of it. Now to put the formula to the test. This is a literal application, so it's another word problem. Will initially invested $4,000 in a bank. His bank offers simple interest rate of 2%. He wants to earn $2,000 in interest, but is curious to how long his money has to remain in the bank. To do so, help Will with his banking and calculate the amount of time that his money must stay in the bank. Oh man, that's a mouthful. So basically what we do is we just put the formula together. But we don't know what the t is. That's what we're trying to find out. T equals time. So now what we need to do is, to make this simple, we multiply 4,000 by 0.02. So that'll give us 80. And then we don't do anything with the t. We just drop that down with the 80. Same thing with the 2,000, but we don't add the t to that. So it would be 2,000 equals 80 t. So now we need to divide to get rid of the 80, just to have the t by itself, and that'll give us our answer. So we need to divide by both sides, obviously, so 2000 divided by 80 will give us 25. So t equals 25. And that's it. I know it wasn't the great slideshow, so yeah, deal with it. So yeah. I don't know if you can hear it, but there's music playing in the background. But yeah, that's my slideshow. Um, happy birthday or something like that, I guess. Yeah. Thank you for watching.